Hey, now we are at Waite Hoyt, and Waite Hoyt is in that range of Hall of Famers that always scare me. And those Hall of Famers are the Hall of Famers that died, let's say, from like 1980 to like early 1990s. And the reason is because of the fact that a lot of autographs exist to these players that are forged. You would think they would forge because they started to sign in quantities. Waite Hoyt, interesting case for a Hall of Famer. I mean, you look at his statistics, they don't jump out at you, believe it or not. I'm looking right here. Again, a career like I think 237. I can pull up the baseball statistics reference here. 237 wins, 182 losses, 3.59 ERA. Now, granted, he was part of the murderer's row. I know he wasn't a batter, obviously. He was like the pitcher of the 1920s for the Yankees. So I think that helped immensely with his Hall of Fame. What helped him even more was after retirement, he was the play-by-play announcer for the Cincinnati Reds for a very long time. He did the World Series, he did All-Star games. A matter of fact, I'm not positive about this, someone can correct me, but I think he's the only Hall of Famer that's been up for the Ford Frick Award. He was such a prominent career player after. I mean, when it came to Hall of Fame elections, the Baseball Writers Association really didn't think much of him. He never got more than like 20. He never cleared the 20% barrier when it came to elections. But in 1969, like when all these crazy like Chick Haffeys, Ross Youngs, Dave Bancrofts, all these weird players got in, and guess who else got in there? Yes, like we talked about Harry Hooper, and now we got Waite Hoyt. So yeah, it was just a weird time for election. The good thing is he lived he lived in 1984. So he's not, and he was great about signing. Like people talk about, there's like long letters he would write back. He was a very prolific signer. So, I mean, his autograph is not rare at all. But like I was saying earlier, because of the time period, people take advantage now and they still forge his autograph. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the autograph analysis of Waite Hoyt. Switch my screen here. So again, it's dated 1921. His autograph, though, fortunately, was pretty consistent throughout his life. So, in the sense that he usually signed Waite C. Hoyt. So, what I'm always looking for, even though this is dated 1921, I really don't think this was actually signed in 1921. I think the picture is from 1921. Again, the W usually is not connected to the A. Once in a while it is, but usually it's not. But again, what I'm looking for is Waite did not sign on a straight line. Usually you want to see the highest points are the W, the C. Again, you're looking for a two-stroke H and that T by itself. And also the O and the Y should drop down. On everything, it should drop down. Again, we're looking right here. The W, I mean, you're not always good. I would like to see the two loops around like this, almost like a V right here. And sometimes you got the other one right here going in, the C looped around, the H, see how it hooks around right here? Then the H dropping around, and the O and the Y falls down, and then again, another standalone T right here. So again, we're just looking right here. So we're going to talk a little bit later that this baseball Ron doesn't think is real. Let's come back to this baseball and why I think Ron's right here. Again, this one I feel is better than the other one because what we want to see here, you see that loop right here? You want to see that loop. It's not signed, believe it or not, on a straight plane. It bounces a lot. We want to see it bounce. The O and the Y fall down. There's H right here, curls up, and the H come here straight down, almost like that triangle. You're not always going to see in a separate T. I mean, his autograph would be very easy to forge, especially later in life. Ron says after 1979, you're looking for some infirmary of the hand. So, and I could see that with a lot of the autographs you see right here. Again, this is a vintage page right here. We're not going to even get into that. But again, when he signed it like this, it's just a beautiful autograph. I mean, no one's going to be able to forge this. The W went into the A. It just flows beautifully. Very tough to forge. But again, this is not what you're seeing. This is not what you're buying. Again, later on, this is probably during his career. I mean, you probably could see it down here, but I can't see that. But again, a nice loop all the way around. He looped this. Again, the break between the W and the A. The H comes, the loop's right here. Again, this H comes down, and like you can see it sort of slants. The slant went away later in life. The Y drops down from the rest. Again, this is what you want to see. You want to see that drop down Y. Then again, a standalone T. Now, this one's tough for me to see. Again, beautiful. Right, this is your common signature later in life. You see the W doesn't connect all the way back. It's almost like a V almost like right here, or a capital Q. Again, this is what you wanted to see. This is the E drops down. It's not on a straight plane. Again, the Y you see drops down here and a T going across. So, I mean, again, this is the full W. Sometimes you got the W. Most of the time it's connected to the A. Again, but see how the O and the Y drop down, the T separate. Again, this is what you want. Usually the T goes up and down. See how it's a little different than this T, up and down. It's not a straight down. It's an up and a down with the T and the cross. You even right here, again, you see the W. You see how it circles around here. It sort of falls down. The C, again, the H. Again, this highest point, this is a high point. The T comes up and then a down. The Y's drop down as well. Again, this is a sign card. I think the sign card is good. Although I like it's a little bit, I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, of this card. I don't know if it's good. I don't like how the O and the Y are on a straight line. I have to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this. I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this card because the O and the Y, see the O and the Y are on the same plane. I don't like that at all when I'm looking at a Waite Hoyt autograph. Again, very easy to forge. This is not an expensive card without it. Now, this right here, Ron talks about a lot of fake Waite Hoyt Perez Steeles. These came out in 1980, and he passed away in 1984. So there was a window for him to sign it. There's still close to $1,000. Not a fan of this Waite Hoyt autograph at all. You see how the O and the Y are on the same plane right there, and the T doesn't come up and down. It just goes straight down, across, and out like that. And like it's almost on a straight line right here. I don't like this at all. I pulled up another Waite Hoyt autograph right here. This is much better. This one I feel comfortable with. You can see how the O and the Y are straight down. The C, there's some, like I said, what's the word I'm looking for with the hand? God, Ron. So, like there's some like hesitation with the hand right here. Even though the T comes down, it's like this. It doesn't go up and down. Like I said, like usually you don't see a cross like him with this, but at least this person, well, whoever signed it, means he dropped it down. Whereas here, you know what I'm saying right here, it's no drop down whatsoever. And like every autograph you see of his that's good. Again, right here, I think we're getting close to the end. You see how the Y drops down right here. This is what you wanted to see. Again, here's the signed check, 1978. You see, like we know these checks are good. You see not a straight plane. The A comes down. Even though there's a line here for him to sign on, it's not straight down. There's some infirmary. That's what I was looking for, infirmary of the hand. The T comes up and back down. You see how that Y drops down. Again, this is what you wanted to see with the Waite Hoyt autograph. Again, this is another baseball I'm not a fan of at all because see how the T is on a straight plane like this, and the O and the Y doesn't drop down, and the T is just like a cross, like a. Anything I see like this, I'm just not a fan of. I would never purchase this type of baseball. So we're at the beginning right here. So again, let's go back to these two baseballs that Ron doesn't think is good. So again, right here, see how the O and the Y just don't drop down, and the T is almost like just it doesn't. Usually the T's like are almost touching and they're connecting. Not always, but at least two things we want to see is a drop down Y, which this sort of has right there, and the T as well. Now again, right here, this O and the Y, they don't drop down at all. The W, he wasn't really signing like this at all. And this is kind of on a nice plane. So I get, and he wasn't even on the 1933 All-Star team. But like this right here, I mean, I would feel more comfort actually in this ball has a little bit of bounce. It's like this ball right here. You see, it's almost like, it's like all on a straight plane. Very nice and neat. And like, this is a year before he passed away. He really wasn't signing this nicely, let's say, back by the time this came around. The C should be much higher. The T should be much higher. Like the C is usually even higher than the W at times. So again, just not a fan of all of this. Looking around right here, like this again is another press card. Actually, I do like. You can see the T went down and up and across, and the Y drops down. This is what you're looking for in a Waite Hoyt autograph if you're buying a Perez Steele. You're looking for these Y sort of to drop down. So again, looking at my autograph, this is from another check, 1979. Again, some infirmary is already starting to exist in his hand. You see how the Y drops down here, the Y drops down here. He signed it, believe it or not, 3 times this check. I think I paid $25 for this check. So you can see his autograph. I mean, which one did I pull here? Again, right here. Yeah, I think this is good. Even though like the T is one T like this, I've seen this T before where it's just across, but at least it drops down. So again, that's it with Waite Hoyt. I mean, just be careful when buying single sign baseballs in Perez Steele. You look for that drop down in the O and the Y. So that's 10 minutes on Waite Hoyt, probably more than it deserves, but you got to be careful, especially with the Perez Steeles for those Perez Steele collectors. So we're going to move from him to Cal Hubbard, who has a fascinating statistic that every diehard baseball Hall of Famer knows. So, but until then, as always, keep collecting.